Has Israel's new Lebanon operation already flopped before it even began? With Netanyahu's troops pulling back under fire and no clear victory in sight? Are Israeli forces quietly edging away from the Lebanon border because they're increasingly scared of Hezbollah's relentless explosive drone strikes? Is Hezbollah's explosive drone now punching holes in Netanyahu's vaunted Iron Dome, exposing cracks in Israel's air defense shield? Israel's army is reportedly planning a major reduction of forces in southern Lebanon, even as tensions and cross-border attacks continue. This drawdown comes amid a growing threat from explosive drones along the border, with reports on May 25 highlighting mounting concern inside the ranks. Thousands of Israeli soldiers have been deployed for several months in southern Lebanon, and fatigue is setting in as the threat landscape shifts. Israeli forces in the area are increasingly worried about ongoing explosive drone attacks, which have become a persistent and lethal tactic. Those drone strikes have killed 11 Israeli soldiers since the ceasefire with Iran began, underscoring how fragile the current lull really is. Hezbollah has also released video footage showing a drone targeting an Iron Dome air defense platform in Misgav Am, signaling its willingness to go after key systems. At the same time, Netanyahu announced on May 26 that Israel is expanding ground operations in Lebanon, suggesting a broader campaign even as some forces pull back. Under my guidance and that of the Minister of Defense, together with the Chief of Staff, we are deepening our operation in Lebanon. The IDF is operating with large forces on the ground and capturing strategic areas. We are fortifying the security zone to protect the northern settlements. Simultaneously, we are leading a massive national effort to promote creative and innovative solutions against explosive drones. Our heroic commanders and soldiers, they are deep in the field. We trust you. We have been at war with Hezbollah. Just in the last few weeks, our heroic fighters have eliminated over 600 terrorists. I want you to know this, over 600 terrorists, but we are not taking our foot off the gas. On the contrary, I said to step on the pedal even harder. We will strike them. True, they are firing drones at us, explosive drones. We have a special team working on this and we will solve it too. In the meantime, you are showing resilience. I want to commend the residents of the North for resilience that inspires us all. But what this requires of us now is to increase the strikes, to increase the power. We will strike them hip and thigh. In a related move, the Israeli Army Chief of Staff convened a limited security meeting on May 24 to reassess the situation and responses. He reportedly called for changes to the rules of engagement, including how Israel responds specifically to Hezbollah's drone attacks. According to those reports, the IDF now plans to retaliate by bombing buildings and strategic targets deep inside Beirut, aiming to raise the cost for Hezbollah's drone campaign. Battered and bruised by repeated Hezbollah attacks, Israel is now taking fresh measures to shield itself from deadly retaliation strikes. The Israel Defense Forces have reportedly been forced to rely on protective mesh nets to counter Hezbollah's increasingly dangerous drone attacks. IDF units have installed large mesh barriers over vehicles and military positions to defend against Hezbollah first-person view drones. Reports claim that more than 158,000 square meters of protective mesh netting have already been supplied to Israeli forces. Israel's military is reportedly preparing to deploy mesh coverage equivalent in size to nearly 20 full soccer fields. The protective netting is intended to shield Israeli troops from the devastating impact and precision of Hezbollah drone strikes. The move comes shortly after a senior Israeli commander was reportedly killed in a brutal Hezbollah attack. The Israeli military said Captain Mao's Israel Rekanati was killed after an explosive drone struck his position during ongoing operations in the region. Rekanati served in the 12th Battalion of the Golani Brigade and was a platoon commander from Itamar. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed condolences, stating that the nation stands with the officer's family during this period of loss. According to the Times of Israel, Rekanati is the 7th IDF soldier killed in southern Lebanon since the ceasefire came into effect. Meanwhile, a civilian contractor was also reported killed in the same operational theater, adding to the overall casualty count in recent days. On May 16th, the IDF said it intercepted 2 drones launched by Hezbollah that were heading toward Israeli troop positions. In response, the IDF carried out strikes on around 100 Hezbollah-linked targets across southern Lebanon, including areas near Tyre. These targets included surveillance positions, weapon storage sites, and infrastructure believed to be used for planning and launching attacks. Hezbollah, however, continued its operations, launching additional drones and rockets toward Israeli positions along the border. The group claimed it targeted the Uera barracks in northern Israel using a coordinated swarm of attack drones during the escalation. The IDF said multiple rockets fired at its troops were intercepted successfully, with no injuries reported in the latest round of attacks. Meanwhile, Israel continues defying the Trump-brokered ceasefire through fresh deadly military strikes across Lebanon. Despite the ceasefire extension being pushed to 45 days, Israel launched another wave of airstrikes on May 19th. At least 19 people were reportedly killed during the latest Israeli attacks targeting areas in southern Lebanon. The Israel Defense Forces claimed the strikes were aimed at Hezbollah-linked positions operating inside Lebanese territory. Israel's relentless Lebanon campaign is also unfolding at a time when the IDF is reportedly struggling with manpower shortages. The Israel Defense Forces have confirmed a substantial manpower shortfall amid simultaneous operations on multiple fronts, raising questions about readiness and unit rotation. Reports indicate the manpower gap is expected to widen over the coming months as personnel are stretched and recruitment shortfalls persist. The first cohort of troops who signed up under shortened enlistment terms are due to be discharged in January 2027. A timeline officials warn could further reduce available ranks if replacements are not mobilized. A senior IDF officer told the Times of Israel on May 20th that the service is facing a pronounced shortage, marking an official acknowledgement of the scale of the problem. Military planners project unfilled positions will rise from about 12,000 to roughly 17,000, a jump that could strain sustainment, rotations, and operational planning. Separate reports say around 32,000 people have been classified as draft evaders, while an additional estimated 50,000 eligible recruits failed to present themselves for enlistment when called, compounding the shortfall.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.